Final.
Cup championship bound, baby! Woo! Big love, baby! Woo! To hear, man. It got a little crazy out there, but we made it through.
We're gonna keep stacking the day, so see you in the championship.
Bow, bow, bow! Let's go!
June 17th wasn't just another game. It was payback time. Remember May 30th when Jacy Sheldon and the Connecticut Sun left Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson injured on the floor? When the dirty plays went unpunished? Well, the Indiana Fever remembered everything. And when Sheldon poked Caitlin Clark right in the eye during this rematch, something snapped. What happened next will show you exactly why you don't mess with Clark's teammates. Because Sophie Cunningham was about to deliver the most satisfying flagrant foul you've ever seen. If you support the Fever, comment down below, CC and Spicy Sophie. Let's go. It was chippy the last time these two teams faced off, too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with Jacy Sheldon as King Park knocked down the triple. But what people don't talk about enough is how hard you have to work to be able to be that good. All the hours that she spent perfecting her craft, retreating, firing, and hitting. So, she can do that. Indiana arguing the call. I mean, step back. You're late. She almost looks you in the eye. Picture this. May 30th, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sunday. And everything went wrong for the Fever in the worst possible way. The game started normal enough. Just another matchup between two WNBA teams fighting for position. But the Sun came out with a level of physicality that crossed the line from competitive to dangerous. You could feel the tension building from the opening tip. Can we talk about the physicality for a second? Two players on the Indiana Fever got injured that night by the same player on the Connecticut Sun, and that was Jacy Sheldon. And I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. I'm fine with players playing aggressive, but there is a thin line between playing aggressive and playing reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact injuries. Sophie Cunningham went down first with what looked like a deliberate hit. The contact was hard, too hard for what should have been routine basketball. Then Sydney Colson got hurt in another questionable play that had everyone asking what exactly was happening out there. The worst part, Jacy Sheldon was right in the middle of both incidents, playing with the kind of aggressive style that makes your blood boil. They weren't non-contact. They weren't ACLs. They weren't Achilles. They were contact injuries caused by the same player. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the W. It's not good basketball. And we've seen so many injuries. Paige Bucher's out with a concussion. Rickea Jackson was out with a concussion. All of these injuries are contact plays. We've seen Caitlin Clark last year get chucked to the ground. We saw Angel Reese get clotheslined, chucked to the ground. The players continue to do it because the refs are allowing them. Why wouldn't you keep doing it if you're a physical player? Here's where the college history comes into play. Sheldon and Clark had been going at each other since their Iowa versus Ohio State days. Back in college, Sheldon made it her mission to get under Clark's skin every single time they faced off on the court. She would shadow Clark everywhere, bump her on screens, talk trash during dead balls. This wasn't just basketball anymore. This was personal. Her mortal enemy. Her mortal enemy took out a player. Jacy Sheldon. Caitlin Clark's mortal enemy. Jacy Sheldon. The referees that May Day seemed to let everything slide like they were watching a completely different game than everyone else. Hard fouls went uncalled. Dangerous plays got ignored. Clark had to watch her teammates get hurt while Sheldon walked away without so much as a warning from the officials. The frustration was building with every possession. The Fever fought hard but lost that game 85-83. But more importantly, they lost two key players to injuries that could have been prevented if the officials had controlled the game properly. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were hurt, and their absence would be felt in the games that followed. This is a reckless play. This is reckless. It's not. It is dangerous. There is no. And this angle makes it look even worse. It is dangerous. Like Sid Colson is between her and the ball. Sid Colson is, in fact, between Jacy Sheldon and the ball, and she dives through her knee. It wasn't even called as a foul. It wasn't even called as a foul. You could see it in Clark's eyes after that loss. The way she looked at Sheldon during the handshake line. The way she answered questions in the post-game interview. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The Fever would remember this game. Remember who caused the injuries. And remember that the officials let it all happen. June 17th couldn't come fast enough. June 17th arrives, and Clark is back from her quad injury. And after a dominant win against the then undefeated New York Liberty, ready to face the Connecticut Sun again. This was her second game back after 3 weeks away from the court. You can tell she remembers exactly what happened last time. The way she walks onto the court, the way she looks at the Sun players during warm-ups. This isn't just another game for her. She just texted me. She never texts me during the game. All right, here is Clark splashing home a 3 from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench. Jacy Sheldon is there with her hand in her face. The game starts with that familiar tension hanging in the air. Sheldon is guarding Clark like her life depends on it, getting way too close for comfort. She's shadowing Clark on every possession, bumping her on screens, doing all the little things that make basketball ugly. This is the same aggressive style that hurt Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson back in May. Everyone in the arena can feel what's coming. And Caitlin Clark is talking to the official. They're both going at it saying, hey, oh, there's a little extra right there. Oh. Then Marina steps in to protect Jacy. Third quarter hits, and here comes the moment that changes everything. Clark is bringing the ball up court when Sheldon comes over to defend. She goes for what looks like a steal attempt, but her finger goes straight into Clark's eye. The contact is immediate and obvious. You can see Clark's head snap back from the impact. Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and Jacy Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down. Clark is okay. Sheldon, that was Clark hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabrey comes in. She decks Clark. Tempers flaring on both sides. Clark immediately grabs her face, and you can see the pain and anger mixing together as she realizes what just happened. She's squinting, trying to clear her vision. But, she's thinking about more than just the physical pain. This wasn't an accident. This was the same player who hurt her teammates, now coming after her with the same dirty tactics that went unpunished before. Clark does what any competitor would do. She pushes back, literally pushing Sheldon away from her.